G'day traders, Sam here from Trade to Prosper to give you another crypto review looking at Arbitrum. And we have talked about how we got to the top, but we did not talk about, well, we did talk about it, but it's playing out as we speak. So what we had was a rising wedge. This is a 5-minute chart, so that's all we can do. We've got no history. And so we go with what we have, and probably we compare it to Optimism. So when we look at this chart, we had this rising wedge, and then we've got confirmation of the breakdown. So what does it mean from there? It is a breakdown, and we are likely to see lower prices. So what's happened? We're going to play with what we see. We've got this descending trend line. We've broken out of it. So, but now with what seems to be, it's been confirmed. We've got this grind line that's playing, and we've just dropped it. So if this can't go up, it's more likely to come down. And excuse me, the last effort here, I would expect a bounce of some sort, but I do expect a resistance in this area. There's a lot of volume, so this area is volume, so this is likely to be resistance if we get a bounce, and then further down. And what we've done is we've assigned what do you call it, extended fib from, not that way, where are we? Can't see it. Here we go. So what we've done is we use that previous top, swing a high, swing low, swing high, and we've got this Fibonacci. And we'll put the prices up. The prices are in. Let's just put the bigger size. Right, so when you look at this, if we do break down, which seems to be the case, and if we were to actually get Optimism into this picture, for Optimism, it's in the same bucket. And what we saw with Optimism, if I was to get this on the daily, for instance, you can see that Optimism on the daily had a nice sell-off. It's come down to support level, it's done the bounce. You can say that's like a rising wedge in a way. We can get into it, but you can see that level there is equated to this, and then you get the wick. So we get this little wick here, but then there's a rejection on Optimism, and it keeps coming down. Obviously, this was when Bitcoin was really bad, so that it's come down a lot. I don't expect that to be the case. With Bitcoin, I do expect, if you look at my chart, not this one here, I do expect Bitcoin to break down. Finding an entry is going to be hard on this one, but that could have been it as a short position. And this is one position that I think might take place. In worst case scenario, we come back down here for a number of reasons. And looking at the RSI, so if Bitcoin is to come down, you would expect that Arbitrum is also set to come down. So where are we? Here we go. That's Optimism there. Here we go. So in that case, we have these Fibonacci. So said to the team on our Telegram that it's likely to come down to 90 cents once we drop this level. And then we'll continue to target. It just depends on how hard Bitcoin drops. So that'll be my first target, and it could potentially come down harder. And the 618. Now this is where we can also say, okay, the measured move, apply it there, and it's likely to come to 78 cents or so. So I'm looking at that at the moment, but usually it does capitulate and we drop, much like this. So in many cases, from there we dropped what percentage? 75%. Let's do the same or less. Let's say 68% or so. So okay, that does roughly 70%. It might drop to that level there. So I'll be looking to buy further down much deeper. I've already bought around here a portion of my portfolio, but I do expect it to come down a fair bit more. So I'm in the short. Started the short somewhere around here, just late, and it's playing out. So I do think that it's going to come down further with these Fibonacci. It might do even worse. It just really depends on what Bitcoin does. So I'm going to leave that, guys. Hopefully give you some direction on what's taking place. If we look at from an indicator perspective, let's have a look at that. And actually, let's look on the 1 hour. The 1 hour will give us a fair bit. You can see that that is bearish of structure. So this is the grind line. And let's just do this. Save. So when we look at this chart, if we were to get Fibonacci, and you can see the 618 acting as resistance. So let's just flip this around like that, and you can see how the 618 is actually playing resistance here. Right, so that was our 618 resistance. So it's playing out. It's aligned. And so if we were to add that there, you can see it's pretty good. It's all lined up with Fibonacci. So give it take a bit. We assume that's a 618. It could be the 0.5. If that is the case, these are the levels that we're looking at. Does that make sense? The other aspect is we can do another fib and make that the 0.5, and we can look at it really in a negative way. So let's just do that for a sec. There we go. The wrong way. So if we put our 0.5 there, then we have further. So now that, actually, let's just do this. We don't know which one it is at the moment. So that's our 0.786, okay. So what we want to do, if we make that our 618, just give a take, yep. Then we can have that, yeah. So definitely, these two numbers do make sense. And so that's what I'm looking at the moment, $1.08. And this is looking bearish. It's looking to drop more. Interesting enough. And then we've got these other targets. We've got those targets. And then if it's really bearish, if a deeper correction, it's going to go to these ones here. So that's what I got, guys. Doesn't look good at the moment. So cheaper prices. And it's, so if you didn't find a shorting position there on the 1 hour, that's, I stepped through that, unfortunately. So I took something here just recently, and I'm going with it. It's unlikely right now it's not a good time, but it's likely to find resistance and then further down. And then we'll see what happens here. Now we've got a trend line or a channel of some sort. So let's have a look. Where are we? This is not going to be favorable, but it could be the case. Let's see how we go for this channel. Give a take. We might take the wicks as well, but yeah, it might just come down a bit. I'm going to leave it there, guys. But yeah, I do see this as bearish, and the RSI hasn't passed the 50% on the 1 hour, and this is bearish as at the moment. Wave trend is also, MACD is all bearish in the negative zone. So downward pressure at the moment. So I'll leave it there. Please give me a like and share. Talk to you soon. Cheers.